This is something that caught a lot of people by surprise, including myself. And apparently, we're going to be getting another Capcom Fighting Collection bundle that's supposed to be coming out in 2025. The official release date has yet to be revealed, but we do know that 8 different games are going to be featured. Four of them are going to be 2D, and four of them are going to be 3D. The games that are going to be appearing on the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 are Capcom versus SNK 1 and 2, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone 1 and 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword. Now, I've heard about just about all these games, probably with the exception of Plasma Sword, because I believe that's like a sequel of Star Gladiator, which came out back in '96. But that's a game that kind of fell under the radar because there was so much going on during the '90s, and there were so many high-profile games and franchises that were way more popular. Because by the time we got to the late '90s, Tekken became popular, King of Fighters '98 was popular. Um, you had the Marvel vs. Capcom series that was popular. So Plasma Sword is something that definitely got overlooked. Um, Capcom versus SNK, it's a nostalgic classic, the first and the second game. At the time, it was awesome and it was mind blowing because people didn't think, a crossover like that would ever happen. But I don't think the graphics for those games has aged too well. The concept's pretty cool though, and I always felt like Capcom and SNK should get together and either reboot the series or do a Capcom versus SNK 3. But seeing that Terry Bogard and Mai Shiranui are guest characters in Street Fighter 6, it's quite possible that Capcom and SNK may be taking steps towards a potential Capcom versus SNK 3 sometime in the future. Power Stone, I feel like, is something that Capcom should have rebooted a long, long, long time ago because I think the original Power Stone game came out like back in '99, and Power Stone 2 came out back in 2000. And my guess is that the reason why we never got Power Stone 3 is because I believe Power Stone was a Dreamcast exclusive. It was available in arcade centers and on Dreamcast. And as a lot of people know, Sega stopped making game consoles back in 2001. So that's probably why we never got Power Stone 3, along with the fact that the franchise was obviously not making as much money as Capcom had hoped. Project Justice. This game is an underrated 3D classic. Came out back in late 2000, and again, I feel like it's one of those games that didn't necessarily make as much money as Capcom had hoped. And this is a game that's a part of the Rival School series, which at one point was somewhat popular. It came out back in the original Rival Schools game came out back in '97, and I think for the most part, that game kind of just it just took a dip in terms of popularity because the most popular character in the game basically became a Street Fighter character for the most part, and it seemed like the series kind of just faded away into irrelevancy over time. But yeah, there are definitely like IPs that in this that Capcom should definitely consider rebooting altogether in the future. But for those who are longtime fans of Capcom games who have been fans of titles like this since the '90s, this is like a dream come true. But the thing is, the Capcom Fine Collection 2 is only going to be available for the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch and PC. I don't think it's coming to Xbox. At least that's something that wasn't shown in the trailer at all. And as a lot of people know, I believe the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible. So if you buy this for the PlayStation 4, you should still be able to play it. Obviously, this was going to be on Steam and Nintendo Switch because obviously Nintendo hasn't released a Switch 2 just yet. But yeah, we have no idea what the price for the Capcom Fine Collection 2 is going to be. Probably the same thing as the original Capcom Fine Collection that we got a little bit earlier. And I think that I can't remember the exact price for that off the top of my head. I think it was somewhere around the ballpark of 49.99. I feel like the same price for this particular bundle would be fair as well. But yeah, I mean, this is something that is a pleasant surprise in a year that has been, I don't know. I feel like 2024 has been a mixed bag in relation to gaming news because I feel like this year hasn't been as star-studded as 2023 in relation to releases, but there have been pleasant surprises like here and there, and I do feel like those surprises kind of made 2024 somewhat a decent year. 2025 looks like it's going to be a more promising year because we have a couple of high-profile releases that's supposed to be coming out that year as well, and and yeah, I'm actually surprised that Capcom has decided to do this, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of these games is going to be something that I guess the current generation of gamers are going to look back and be like, "Oh wow, this is actually a lot better than we expected," or maybe they just won't like it altogether because it's not modernized like what we see nowadays, and the landscape of gaming has changed, and people are more into RPGs, action adventures, and stuff like that. But I do feel like this is something that's going to appeal more to niche gamers than it will to casuals, and that's perfectly fine because I'm pretty sure that's what Capcom is trying to do. They're trying to win back, their lapsed fan base, or lapsed fans of Capcom, games from the past that have disappeared over time, and yeah, I mean, this is something that Capcom doesn't necessarily have to do because you look at all, the money they're making from Resident Evil and, Monster Hunter. But, like Capcom, back in the day, they were more about variety and trying to do everything they can to appeal to as many people as they possibly can. And the only thing I can hope is that, they make sequels or even reboot, some of the titles that's going to be included in the Capcom Fine Collection too sometime in the future.